a switch goes off in my head where I just some reason I just say this is unacceptable, and then it's all over.
I lose the filter.
Yeah.
And
then I speak my mind, and a lot of times you don't want to hear that. A lot of times I don't want to hear it.
I don't want to lose my mind where I'm not supposed to lose my mind.
Right, exactly. That's the point.
I think that's the biggest thing about it, and I don't know why we don't have a lot of mic right now. I get some mic right now too.
I'm kind of buzzy.
We're getting kind of buzzy. You're kind of. I need to pull you down a little bit. Keep talking.
Hello. We hitting red bar? The red bars there? No.
Yeah, you're still hitting the red bars.
All right. Yeah, that sounds much better.
Yeah, there we go. And then me 1, 2, 3, and I'm still kind of buzzing up there too. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And,
how are we looking?
Just a little bit. And a 1, 2, 3. We're already live, so you can say hi to the guys out there.
Hey, just folks. 1, 2, 3. Test.
We're just doing a sound check, and because I had my my board pulled down for the Night in the Garden for Alzheimer's show that we had, and hey, hello guys out there. This is Bruce and Doug, Weathered Souls. We're back again. We're going to try to keep this going without a lot of crackling and all kinds of other things that have been going on since
and twanging from the springs.
And twanging from the string. So we're gonna get this going in a minute.
I save that for the jug band.
I gotta go get me something to drink because we didn't record the pre-show, but we have a conversation. So you guys will be excited.
No time to drink. Yeah, so it's been 2 weeks.
Yes.
God, a lot has happened in the world, huh? But nothing new. Just more of the same, it seems. More of the same.
You just follow my lead on the intro. I think it'll be okay. I'm not going to tell you what it's going to be.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, I'm just here for comic relief anyway.
You are my Ed McMahon.
Yeah.
You are my Ed McMahon. You are the wind beneath my wings.
Oh God.
Oh, let's hope this turns out, guys. It's been a couple of weeks, and I do have brain damage. So. I didn't pull up my report on the 4th of July from the dispatch.
Oh, the 60 arrests.
Yeah, I need to pull that up before we go do this. So we're not going yet, guys. You're still on the pre-show. So you're seeing what happens when you do a podcast and stuff is that, you got to get ready, got to get the sound check going, got to get all your stuff up on the computer so you could, or print it out. But, Dougie's my Ed McMahon, so he just needs to keep me wherever I need to be.
Or at least look at a different side anyway. That's what I'm good at.
So I'm still pulling up a couple things here.
I may not agree with everything everybody says, but I do try to see it from their point of view. And I try to get them to see it from my point of view.
Yeah.
It's like people who are very, very, let's say, protective of their guns.
Yeah.
I have no problem with people having guns. I've had guns, and I may have a gun again in the future.
I have zero problem with my guns.
I've used guns for sport, and I've used guns for hunting.
Yes, I've just brought mine home. So
I don't like. Yeah, I really don't like hunting. Yep. Because I get this guilt shit going after I kill something. But I would never take away somebody's privilege or right to own a gun.
Absolutely.
As long as they can admit to me that a gun is a machine that is made solely for killing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And if you can say that to me, then you can have a gun.
Yeah. That machine is absolutely used for killing.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. There's no, it's not a sport, right? If you're target practicing, you're either practicing or pretending to kill, right? That's what it's there for. And if you can realize that, then I think you're mature enough to have a gun. But if you can't, then you shouldn't. Sorry. That's just my own stupid opinion. And that's how I live, but I don't expect anybody else to live by that.
Okay. So did you read your paper on Trump's psychological analyst thing?
Not all of it, but
okay, but you read some of it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you're gonna lead that with that too. So you're gonna be leading on that.
Well, I've always had my own theories on that.
Yeah. So this is how you get the flow through.
Yeah.
We're gonna start here pretty soon. So I've got my stuff that's up, and we're gonna rip roaring and let's go.
Yeah, I didn't bring any notes with me tonight, but I think I can pretty much wing it.
There we go.
It's. I'm gonna start off saying something that's probably gonna be taken the wrong way, but
shoot, baby.
Yeah, shoot. Carol Burnett show before the spinoff Mama's House or whatever started.
Mm-hmm.
She had a skit that was basically what Mama's was based on.
I remember that skit.
Yeah. And the only thing I remember of it, and this is when I was in grade school, probably pre-adolescent. But I still remember it was, they had this thing going on about a debate and who was right and who was wrong. And Carol Burnett's character said, this other woman has to be right because she's got the biggest hair. I knew what that meant even at like age 10.
Right.
Unfortunately.
And away we go.
Yeah. So I hope that didn't insult anybody, but it has to do a lot with pack mentality, right? The pack needs a leader, and it's very easy to default your thinking and decision making onto someone else.
Absolutely.
And then just agree with them and follow it. And then since you've backed that person, it's very difficult for you to change course and then say, no, I was wrong. That person's wrong.
Absolutely.
And I think that has a lot to do with it. I
Absolutely.
really do.
Absolutely.
Sorry to say.
Absolutely. And we will get into that shortly.
Yep.
Here we go. And no, we don't.
Yeah. We on air or off air?
We're not on there yet. So.
No.
Oh, there we go.
I got to repeat all that.
Yeah, 2 weeks off, and I got to relearn how to do everything all over again. Brought to you tonight by Corona and Kirkland Water. For best results, squeeze from the bottom up. And I'm still modulating, but we're going to go forward with the show. And we're just two old men that say, get off my grass. This is Bruce and Dougie, the Weathered Souls, and you got the Weathered Soul podcast live from First Note Production Studios in Gilroy, California. And we are glad to have you here tonight. And we took the week off, man.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we took the week off. It was pretty fun having the week off too, because I really wish that we would have recorded a bunch of what we were sitting there on the back porch drinking rum punch all day.
Right, but how could we compete with what was going on around us? I mean, what was on TV? You had two choices of national 4th of July celebrations to choose from. You had the war zone out here. Worried about watering down your roof so your house doesn't burn down,
Absolutely.
and, all that fun stuff on the 4th. So I think we deserved the day off, no problem. But we still had an interesting conversation.
I think we went on for about an hour and a half or something like that. It could have been a great show. Yeah. But anyway, we're back here.
Some of it drug influenced. Alcohol always helps the words flow.
Drugs. That's just the way we are. I mean, that's it's free. It's so free. We get to do that.
At least none of us get belligerent when we're drunk.
We get to be responsible adults.
Yeah.
Hey, we just went over 100 listeners, man.
Wow.
Yeah, we went over 100 listeners this week. Want to thank you guys for tuning into the podcast, whether it be on YouTube Live. We got a lot less views on YouTube Live than we have on the Just a Bear website, which is the Libsyn.com Weathered Soul podcast. And it's been going great, man. I don't know what to say, but thank you guys.
Checks in the mail,
sharing the show and keeping it going. And man, I'm beside myself. I keep seeing the numbers go up. could use some money, you can go to patreon.com, the Weathered Soul Podcast, and you can actually be a patron of mine and support the show at whatever level that you want. And you're going to get some extra content that me and Dougie have done and some extra content that I just did. And I went off on a rant that I'm going to go off on again here pretty soon. But you get some stuff there that you don't get through the website on Libsyn or on the podcast. So I would appreciate we don't have a Facebook Live thing going on tonight because my holder broke for my cell phone. It just crumbled and busted apart. So we're not with Facebook Live tonight, and I can use like $15 or so I can go get another one. I mean, it costs money to put on this show, and it's free to you guys all the time for you. For you over 100 listeners now, and we're all over the world. We're in Norway, we're in Britain, we're in Australia, we're in India, and so we got a couple.
Send us $3.50.
Yeah, send us $3.50. But I want to welcome you guys to the show, and I'm kind of angry, and I've been angry all week, and probably what trumps, pun intended, but what trumps my anger is this Jeffrey Epstein case, man. And I think this guy's a slimy fucking slob, dude. This guy that is this pedophile, and he had a jet that he called the Lolita Express. And you know what? I've seen all the freaking rhetoric because you know that I'm on Facebook all the time, and I use that from a soapbox. And you know what? It doesn't matter whether you have a D or an R or an L or a freaking, I don't give a shit what you have in front of your name and your political stance or your cultural stance or whatever you are. If you're hanging around with pedophiles, if you're freaking doing the pedophile thing and you've been on these flights and stuff, and there's been all kinds of accusations that are around, but this guy is a convicted freaking sex offender, and he got a plea deal from Acosta, the guy who was the judge at that time, or state or federal judge at that time, and it was all because the prior state the state had fucked up his whole case, and it went to the feds, and then he got a plea deal from the feds, so that's why he got off. But the fact remains is the guy's a fucking pedophile.
Yeah.
All right? And anybody that's associated, and I don't give a shit if it's Trump or down freaking Clinton, I don't care. Whoever freaking CEO or freaking billionaire or whoever this or that is, you guys need to go down, because this guy entertained a lot of people. He took him, there was a lot of flights, and there is some credible accusation out there already. I mean, just taking for granted the first thing being his plea deal. I mean, you don't plea out because you're freaking innocent.
Well, this comes down to the whole thing. It's I've got to like appeal to the morals of the Republican Party. Like, I'm gonna like make a plea that they come to their senses, because you've got Trump. You've got the owner of the Patriots. You've got this Epstein guy. You've got them all in pictures, at one time and another. This one and this one together. This one and this one. All three of them together. This one over here together. Plus everything else. What's happening with the kids at the border? Even what's going on with the adults at the border. But the thing with the kids is really bad. Morally. I'm sorry. I think that's morally corrupt. Regardless, we have enough resources in this country.
Well, I think you're correct in that sense, but the fact remains is that what we got here is we have a whole freaking culture of Washington, D.C. that is neck deep in this stuff. Not only that, you've got stockbrokers, the big time stockbrokers, the CEOs, these corporations. I'm sure that we're pals with Epstein. We're definitely taking these flights. I mean, it's just we're not just talking about political here. We're talking about a culture of people that were hanging around with Epstein, businessmen, leaders of other countries, right, and stuff like that. They all need to go down, dude.
Absolutely.
Period. And like I said, it doesn't matter whether they're Democrat or Republican. They need to go down.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nobody above this law. This is fucking disgusting, dude. It really is.
Yeah. I can't. Yeah. There's no. It's indefensible. I mean, there's no way. there's no way you can defend anything that Epstein did, and there's no way you can defend the government officials that virtually let him get away with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that includes the cost of it, but it also includes the state that screwed up their first freaking case against him because it was rock solid.
Right.
And from all indications that I was reading, I mean that's what it was. And I forgot to get the clip for the actual indictment, because I read the indictment the other day, dude, and it's just like, not really.
Right. And here's another thing too. It's that boys club mentality. It's like that prep school elitist mentality that, there's the them, or if I was in their place, there's the us, and then there's the rest of them. Right. And we're above. Right. It's like that group that thinks that it's above. I'm connected. I know judges, I know politicians. I can get away with this shit. Fuck it. I don't care.
Right.
Makes it even worse.
Right. And the whole thing that kind of really bugs me about the whole thing is that it was allowed to happen.
And to continue. Which is the worst part.
And even if they were just continuing it, letting it continue because they wanted the evidence, it was still happening. And whether or not the girls were willing or not, whatever, it doesn't matter. It's a disgusting thing that happened, because there's both sides of the story, but still the worst side of the story is freaking Epstein. And that's the worst side.
Yeah, I mean, there's slutty 14-year-olds out there, but that's fine. You know what?
Yeah.
They should hang out with slutty 14-year-old boys.
Yeah, slutty 14-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you're getting my drift. I didn't want to make it a kind of a controversy here, but the whole situation is what it is, and I think it's freaking disgusting. I think this guy should hang. And I really think this 43 years that he's facing. I mean, like, really, 43 years? Really? Something like that is just like,
should be 43 years for each of them.
Something like that. Yeah.
I mean, really, this is a person, because of his resources and his connections, should never see the light of day again.
Yeah. I mean, another thing that really bugs me about this whole thing is that they come out. So that I listen, or not listen to Fox News, but I go to the Fox News site all the time, because it's like the National Enquirer, and they had put in some article or something about that, implicating Bill Clinton first, boom.
Oh, of course. Yeah. And I hate that.
But in the same token, somebody else went out on the liberal media side and said, "Oh, well, Trump's been friends with these 5 pedophilia, or these pedos, throughout his career." And it's always, this is one-upmanship, because what it tells me is that the news just cares about this, the most sensational thing they can get, so you can grab and read the article. For they don't understand what they're doing with that, because they're just sensationalizing pedophilia, dude.
Yeah,
that's what they're doing.
Right.
And I mean, they don't care if it stops. They just want the story, and they just want the juicy story, so they can grab those people in that hate Trump, or those people in that hate Clinton, and that's how this stuff perpetuates, and that's how it keeps going, dude. I think it's freaking disgusting. I think what the news shows should have done is say, here's this guy, and you know what? He's a fucking scum, and we all know he's a fucking scum. So we're going to tell you what the story is. We're going to keep leading on this story, but we're not going to freaking implicate anybody until proof has been shown, the due process has been done, and then we'll start with those. And then you keep going on down from there.
Yeah.
But to drag people in because they hate one person or another is it doesn't matter, because that guy's not the focal point. The focal point is this stupid fucking asshole right here.
Right.
That's the problem.
And I think that's childish. You see it all the time on both sides. It's like,
he's this fucking mug. Little fuck you, asshole. I'm so pissed.
But I'm
sorry for the families out there today.
To get back to your point, though, where you're saying it's like, it's this one-upmanship is childish. It's that it bounces off me and sticks to you.
Right.
That shit that I really hate. It's like, we're talking about Epstein today. We're not talking about Bill Clinton.
No.
We're not talking about cigars.
No,
we're not talking about stained dresses. We're talking about
his pussy grabbing. We're not talking about anything like that.
Right. Yeah. So when we're talking about Epstein, don't bring up Bill Clinton's cigar.
Yeah.
It's not part of the conversation.
No.
Okay, you're doing that just because you don't have an argument.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I was, and the reason why I posted what I posted is I said somebody came out and said 5 times that Clinton had been on the plane. Well, no, it's been documented that it's been 26 times. And I didn't do that to bash the Democrat or bash Clinton or anything like that, because I've made my voice known about, what Trump has done. I don't need to go.
And we all know Billy's a playboy.
And we all know Billy's a playboy. So, but there is documented fact that he's been on those planes 26 times, just not 5. So when they come in and they do that even perpetuates what's going on, because there's some kind of a, well, it was okay, I was only on there 5 times. Well, you know what? If you're only on there 1 time and you were a part of that.
Yeah, well, he could have been on it 100 times and not been part of it.
That's true too. That is true too. But
it's like, what are all these young girls getting ferried to this party I'm going to?
Due process take care of that situation. Due process has already been gone through this dude 1 time, and he fucking plead out. And still didn't
well,
stop.
It really wasn't due process. It was some sort of special process.
Well, it was exactly some sort of special process. But the fact being is that I just hate the way that the media just freaking keeps building this up and building this up and building this up. This guy just needs to freaking have a swift trial and be fucking done with it. And anybody whose domino effect comes by, goodbye. That goes for you, Donald Trump. That goes for you, Bill Clinton. That goes for you, CEO of some big fucking corporation that lends billions to everybody. You bankers, anybody out there. Yeah. You guys are all fucking scumbags.
But when it comes down to it, right? Also you look at the gravity of things. Okay, Bill Clinton had a little bit of marital infidelity. It wasn't good. It wasn't right, and he paid a price for it. Right? I mean, he and Hillary haven't hung out much since that day.
No.
Right. But that's a hell of a lot different than molesting and going out recruiting underage girls to come to your party.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. It's a quantum leap difference.
It was a female that was doing the recruiting and stuff like that.
Right. Somebody who should be trusted.
Yeah. Somebody who should be trusted. Yeah. So, but they knew where to look, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, they knew exactly where to look. I mean, some of these women that are coming out of the woodwork with this case here is just like, I'm like, wow. I mean, those are totally believable. I mean, we can go back and talk about Kavanaugh, but we're not going to. But they are totally believable. And I just think just from the presence of this guy going through a courtroom before and, playing out, and excuse me, I apologize for that noise outside. We have the door open today in the studio. Don't close it, Doug. We're good.
Okay.
And
probably can't hear it.
That's kind of, no, I can hear it through my headphones. So we can hear it through the headphones.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we need some money for the studio too. Did I tell you about Patreon? Go to patreon.com, the Weathered Soul Podcast. You can contribute to the show, and then we can maybe get some kind of
or if you got an old wall air conditioner you don't use anymore.
All right. Yeah, there you go. That'll work.
Just drop in the driveway.
I was really gonna keep going on this diatribe, and I was really gonna think about doing some counterpoint tonight. We'll ride that out for a minute, because I'm still pretty. The Hulk wants to come out right now, so I think we're gonna forego right now. But I want to talk about something, because we had a great 4th. The 4th went on, and by the way, since the 4th went on, you know that the Night in the Garden for Alzheimer's went off without a hitch, and you were there, dude.
It was very successful. It was a fantastic time.
I mean, not just because you're my friend, and not.
I think Blue House did a fantastic job.
Yeah,
I really do. They were totally into it. The crowd was great. The fact that it was somebody's birthday and they had a bunch of friends there actually made it even better, because then we had a little bit of a side party going with the birthday celebration too.
Oh yeah, we had the dancing and I got to tell you the truth.
Yeah, you danced with your daughter.
Special day.
Abby was like, "How does he know how to do that?"
It was an incredibly special day. And Abby, how do I know how to dance?
Yeah,
I know how to dance because I started dancing with my sister a long time ago. And I know, hi Abby. I know that I danced with my sister forever. Yeah, my little sister, because that's kind of what we used to do. And so that's how I know how to dance. But the relationship between a father and daughter is special, whether it be a distant, distant or close or medium or whatever. You have your relationship, and of course you always like to have it better or whatever. But we had just never danced before, and I can't say that we've never danced before, because when she was a little girl, she used to dance on my feet.
Oh yeah, that kind of stuff. But as an adult,
but as they grow, they're like, well, then my daughter came up to me and she did this with her hands, and I'm all like, okay, cool. I know what she wants to do. So
watch what you ask for, little girl.
But the funniest thing is that she wanted to lead, and I'm going like, you don't have to let me lead.
Yeah, really. Sorry.
So we did a Texas two-step a little bit, and it was fun. Yeah. And it was very special, and I really want to thank Marlise and Amy and the whole band, Blue House. You guys blew it off the roof. It was a really great show. We made a little bit over $600 for Alzheimer's, and that'll be going into the bank soon. I've got it stuffed away in my safe. I just haven't moved it over to the Alzheimer's yet. But I got the list and everything, and I don't have the list with me, but everybody who had donated to it, thank you. I just love the way that this show went off.
I've got to give kudos to Finney and Cook too.
Cook and Finney, they let off the show again for the fourth year in a row. They were very, very good.
Warmed everybody up. Did a good job.
It was a very hot day. See, the Night in the Garden for Alzheimer's is supposed to be a night in the garden for Alzheimer's, and so we had built the stage, and we had to go to a 2:00 tea time. I went golfing lately. We had to do a 2:00 start because it was a Sunday afternoon. I wanted everybody to get home, in good time, and not too bad that they have to go back to work on Monday. Yeah. But we did the show, and it was just a hot day, and it didn't help that the sprinklers went off, and there's all kinds of things that highlighted my day, and it was just it was cool. It was fun, and I thank you guys, man. I thank everybody for being there. If you want to go to the next Night in the Garden for Alzheimer's event, we have one coming up on August 10th. It's called the Don't Burn Your Wiener Barbecue and Open Mic, and that is a free event. You just go to Eventbrite and you type in Night in the Garden for Alzheimer's, and it'll come up with all my events. I've got 2 left, one on August 10th, one on September 21st. The August 10th one is a free event, asterisk. We're doing a drive for the St. Joseph's Family Center. So if you want to attend, we would love you to bring something to give to the St. Joseph's Family Center. Now, they are a food bank, but they also supply other supplies to homeless families and families that are in need in Gilroy, and they do a great work. And I can't wait to give them all the donations, because that's what we do here, man. That's how we roll over, First Note Productions when we're doing our Night in the Garden. They're always for charities. So I'd like to come out if you're a musician, you want to do part of the open mic. I've got lots of openings. Go in there and get yourself a free ticket. I've had to continue with that all summer. The kids are playing next door. I love it because we used to play the same way.
At least they got mufflers.
And if you're a guest, you get a free ticket too. So just come on over, Night in the Garden for Alzheimer's, and it's the August 10th show called Don't Burn Your Wiener Barbecue and Open Mic. So hope to see you there.
Do you have to bring your own wiener?
No, I will supply wieners, and I will supply buns and hamburgers and all the fixings. So
right on.
Don't worry about that. It could be a potluck. Bring something if you want to, but I'm going to supply the hot dogs and the hamburgers. So
beautiful.
I like to call my little shows weird names. You know that.
Yeah, why not?
One of these days we're going to have a pinch it, chuck it, suck it again.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That is a crawdad fest for all you guys out there.
Yeah.
So anyway, we had a great time, man, for 4th of July. I'm glad you guys came over, because kind of really needed that kind of decompression day, dude. It was special having you guys over. It really was.
Yeah. I know we needed the decompression. That's why I brought over the rum punch.
Yeah,
it was like, you know what, Ab, we're gonna get drunk tonight. I'm sorry.
And we proceeded to get drunk. It was a very fun day. I even made it to work the next day.
And what did we do? Like 2 pitchers of rum drinks?
We did 2 pitchers of rum
bottle
drinks.
full of rum, and
we did 2 pitchers of rum drinks. I opened up a bottle of wine. I think I drank either another beer or bourbon. I can't remember. I was drinking bourbon last weekend.
Did we do any of the barrel aged rum?
I don't know.
I know we were looking at it.
Yeah. I know we were putting toppers of the Kaloa rum that we got from Hawaii. So I know that they were topping them with that. So they were good.
Yeah.
And so are the fireworks around Gilroy, man. I know you have a different outtake on fireworks with me than I do, because I love them.
I love them too. I really do. I think it's cool as shit.
Anyway, let them go off anywhere. I thought you were the other way around, but
not at all.
Okay, so everybody knows they're in YouTube land and in podcast land that I am a libertarian, and I am for liberty, and I am for freedom. Does that work for all men? No, we're not angels. But during this holiday that we've adopted already for being 4th of July, and it's always been associated with fireworks of some kind, I'm sure. So it's kind of a tradition. And, I do understand how the population can be when you let them go flat out and fancy free in a place where it's not, or it's against the law. Because in other places it's against the law.
Why are they against the law?
Why are they against the law? That's a good idea. That's a good question. Why are they against the law? Why don't you elaborate on why they're against the law?
They're against the law because of liability. Bottom line is insurance companies don't want to have to pay to replace hands or burnt down houses, period.
Agreed. But we still have a majority of states that allow real fireworks.
Yeah. We
allow the safe and sane here in a couple of cities in the Bay Area, and I'm sure there's a bunch of cities in the state that does the same thing. But I really think that
there we go.
The time is here where at the middle of the show, and you can
halftime.
Let's see. Here we go. At 24 minutes and 30 seconds, you can guarantee that the lights are going to go out. So here's my light again. It's the famous Leonard Soul gas.
Has to do with the sun or something.
I just can't get it right, dude. I just cannot get it right. I don't know what my problem is. I'm such an idiot.
Well, maybe when you get a real studio, you can get some real lighting too.
If I had a real studio, if you went to patreon.com, the Leonard Soul podcast, you can go right to Patreon, and man, I'll get something. The light will stay on all the time.
Yeah. At least send some batteries.
And you can go there and you can get special content. You get to find out what we really, really think after the show. Right? Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So you're saying.
So what I read before the 4th of July holiday is that the Gilroy police officers and somebody, I can't remember what her name was, but I'm pretty sure I know. I saw her on Facebook. She was named off on Facebook, or doxed, whatever you want to call it. But it was a friendly dox. And they made this app for you to report anybody who was sending up illegal fireworks up into the air. And it didn't surprise me, because I'm kind of a half and half cop guy. I mean, I like cops to be around when, I need them and stuff like that. But, in a situation where you're just free and we're just having fun and stuff like that. I mean, in that situation, I don't think, citing people for illegal fireworks is a smart thing to do. But they do it anyway, and they got 60 people for illegal fireworks here in Gilroy on July 4th, including my neighbor down the street, who was lighting them off. And with the aid of a dozen officers and a smartphone app that Gilroy residents use to easily report fireworks violation, police cited 60 people for the illegal use of fireworks on the night of July 4th. From 4 p.m. July 4th until 2 a.m. July 5th, Gilroy police received 241 calls for service, and 119 of these were related to illegal use of fireworks, according to the press release. Local citizens who used the Nail 'em application on their smartphones reported 137 incidents of illegal fireworks during the same period. According to the police, the app allows users to relay precise location information to officers when reporting violations. So you can argue that I'm disturbing your peace. That's a liberty issue to me. But you can also argue that if you're in front of your house on your property, if my light shines on your house, am I invading your property? Am I impeding your liberty or freedom because my light shines on your house?
Absolutely.
Am I? How is that? Come on.
I mean, how is that? You're invading my space with your light.
If it's a spotlight and I have it shining in your bedroom window so it's daylight in your room, that is invading your liberty. But if the residual light from my house is on your wall of your house, am I to move my light because it's on your house?
Should at least be able to discuss it.
No, okay. Absolutely. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So I had made a comment back to the dispatch on this, and you've seen my comments before in the paper. And I just said, this is silly. I mean, so you gave out 60 citations, you had 12 additional officers, and you financed this app, whether it was given to them or not, it doesn't matter. But I think it was, for 60 citations, I think it's a waste of time. And
60 is probably close to the maximum they could have given out, because they had a lot more calls than that, right?
Well, they had 137 calls just from the app.
Right. So how long does it take them to process each violation?
And they had 119 of them were called into the Gilroy Police Department for fireworks. So if you add that up, it's almost 250 phone calls. And they gave 60 citations. So that's 12 officers that gave out something like that, 5 citations that night.
All right. And how long does each one take to process? An hour?
Yeah. So I mean, I just think it's a total waste of time. And I hate to say not all morals make good laws, and not all laws make good morals. And I think we got to think about that when we're going citing people for blowing off fireworks. Man, come on, really? I mean, if it's so effective, why am I still hearing fireworks out here? It is July 11th.
You hear them all year, man.
Where's my 12 officers today?
Right.
Okay. Giving out citations, and why isn't it being reported? Yeah. So I mean, that's the situation. So,
and why is blasting off fireworks such a huge priority? And my truck can get broken into 3 times, and geez, sorry.
Yep, absolutely. And this
is all I get from the police.
What gives you the right to report me for what I'm doing on my property?
Well, that's a whole nother thing, too, right? Because actually, when you brought up this topic to me, I thought about it, and it's like there's been instances where people, we've got some apartment complexes a block or so away,
right?
And sometimes they have parties. Who knows, somebody's 13th birthday or 15th birthday, whatever they do. They get a band, or a really loud stereo, whatever, and the jump house and all the kids. There's 8 or 10 apartments, and so all the families from all those apartments get together and do it out in the parking lot. And I'm fine with it at 3 p.m, at 7 p.m. But when it gets to become 1 o'clock in the morning, it's time to shut it down or bring it inside. So I'd call the police and say, there's a big party going on and making lots of noise, keeping me up. I got to go to work, blah, blah, blah. What do I get from? Why don't you go over and talk to him? It's like, I beg your pardon, officer? No, that's your job.
Yeah.
Well, we're busy taking care of gangs down the south, down on the east side. It's like, well, you know what? Send somebody. Period. Sorry.
Gilroy.
Yeah. I don't want to be rude, but yeah.
Oh, well, because I think it's we have 4 officers or 6 officers per shift on duty. At one time. So I'm not sure.
I'm not saying that they're not working hard.
I heard it was like 4, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What the actual number is, but I just have a real tough time with you. I would rather talk to you than call the cops on you. Yeah,
but I'm not going to go over to a party at 1 o'clock in the morning and say, yeah, you guys, you're making too much noise, shut it off.
Absolutely. Because we did that. We had to do that with a couple of people that had dogs around here. I mean, I understand. I made my I made my presence known, and I've made my request known, and then they didn't apply to that, and then I wrote the letter, and that didn't happen, and then after that, you just have to take legal.
Yeah. Well, we had some bad rentals, and we started a block watch association because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw that. That's kind of iffy with the hardcore and caps. I would call
really.
Them. Yeah. We have a problem with that because I don't have a problem with the neighborhood watch. I mean, we're very watchful around our neighborhood. I mean, you have to be. I mean, because not only is this my property, but my neighbors have their property, and I don't want them not to disrespect my property, so I don't disrespect theirs. So we have this little close knit. We don't talk a lot, but I mean, we are aware of what everybody's doing. And sometimes I'll go over if I'm leaving for the afternoon. I'll go, hey Ray, my place is going to be empty. The dogs are home and stuff, but you know what to do. Here, you got my number. Give me a call. So we all know we got kind of an overlap in security thing. So I think it's really important for everybody to do that. I'm going to bring that up before this neighborhood.
We've got a couple of, I shouldn't say couple. We got a bunch of recluses on my block. They don't want to be bothered.
Is that right?
They mind their own business. They walk down the street. They won't even say hi to you.
Well, that's fine too. I mean, I like to be neighborly with my neighbors, but I also can respect their privacy. I mean,
absolutely.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole
for whatever reason.
I mean, why can't we just all freaking get along like that? I mean, why does it just have to be what it is? That's gonna,
but to get back to your point about the fireworks, as far as a loud party goes, if it's 1 o'clock in the morning and it's Sunday night or whatever. Yeah, I'll call the police and say, please go do your job and tell them it's past time for it to be making noise outside.
Yeah.
As far as the police soliciting me to go narc on my neighbors, I'm very much against that, and I'm very, very skeptical of the safety of it.
Yeah.
Because if I was blasting off fireworks, having a good old time, and the cops showed up and I thought that you're the one that called them on me, I can't guarantee your safety. I mean, honestly,
the little hope wants to come out.
Yeah. And who knows? Who knows what might happen?
I'm a very peaceful man.
Yeah, nothing may happen, but someday you might do it to somebody who, the wrong person.
The wrong person.
Right, and then are the police going to accept the liability for that?
Yeah. So then we were talking again today, this is talk about civil liberties and that stuff like that, and our property and our liberty and freedom. So I saw the drones out, and we had a discussion about this earlier. The drones, man, and it was really kind of freaky that I saw the drones. I mean, one of my neighbors was over. He goes, "Hey, look, there's the drone." I'm all like, "What?" So I'm looking over, and lo and behold, there's a drone. I don't know how many feet in the air it is, or what path it was going, to. But it was it had to be a very expensive drone, because when it took off and it went across, down, it looked like it was following.
Is this Kern. A police?
It looked like it was following Kern. Okay. So I mean, but it went a long way. I mean, it went from over here all the way over there, and I'm going like, that is no.
Oh, some have 4 or 5 mile ranges. There's no messing around.
That is no Toys R Us freaking drone, or whatever, wherever you get your drone.
And you can hear it too. It's a big machine.
Yeah, you can hear it. You can hear it go through the air and stuff. So I'm assuming it was police drone. I can't guarantee that, but I'm going to assume it. So they had a drone in the air. Somebody had a drone.
Well, if it wasn't a police drone, they're not allowed to be looking in your backyard with it.
Exactly. So there's a certain just to let you guys know. I mean, you're going to hear a lot of liberty talk from me here. You can tune in on Monday nights for my Bruce for Liberty podcast also, which I do solo, and we talk about liberty, things like that. But there's a certain amount of height above your house that you have that is your private property also, that they can't come in and invade your privacy. So I have a problem with drones running around, because that's directly up above the air. And I even have a problem with Google having a snapshot of my freaking house, but that's just the way it is. And Google has it, and Bing has it, and everybody has it in some kind of resolution, but Google's getting really good at it. So,
well, I think that if the police want to use their drone to look in my backyard, they better have the same warrant that they would need to come through my fence.
That's exactly my point.
I'm sorry.
That's
or if they find something, without that warrant, they can't act on it. Tough shit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
if you try to,
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree totally. And that would be my first defense that I would say if anybody came over with me about what's going on in my yard. I'm going like, okay, why was your drone in the air on July 4th? And when did you get this picture?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't put it past the police to have this place freaking droned out during the night when you're asleep. I don't put it past police departments to do that, dude. I really don't. As much as you rely on the police, there's a lot of times that you just can't trust them because they're doing the various things to be able to, and I hate to say it, increase revenue. And revenue is done by citations, and it's done by putting people in jail. Because, and that's what they do. And there's too many people for victimless crimes doing jail time.
Yeah, well, you can live in a place like where I grew up in Connecticut, where some towns, you get pulled over if you don't use your turn signal, period. Every time. I mean, that's it. It's not like, like around here, if you take a cop from Bethel, Connecticut and put him in Gilroy, the guy would explode. He wouldn't be able to write tickets fast enough.
It's that bad?
It's that bad, but the roads are safe.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about some idiot rolling through a stop sign in front of you because they figure since they're to the left, they get to go first.
Or texting at the stop sign.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, look, he's gonna stop, so I'm not gonna. Do that to me. I'll run into the side of you. I gotta like hit my brakes at the last second because when it's my turn, if you go, I'm gonna go, and if you're there, sorry. And it's like people don't realize that. No, if I'm to your right. Okay, I'm going first. If it's a tie, even if it's a close tie, maybe you got there a half a second ahead of me. It doesn't matter. I still am supposed to go first. So if you start going, then I'm just going to go. If I miss you, I miss you.
Unbelievable, but there we go. So that's
sorry.
I know, but that's what you're kind of going to hear here, man, on an increasing basis because 2020 votes coming up, and we gotta be smart, dude. And I don't think smart is what everybody else wants me to do. And I can't be in a clique, and I can't be around false people. I can't do any of that. So we're going to get into a point counterpoint because I want you to be my counterpoint tonight. And we might even do this more, but we'll see how it goes tonight.
All right.
But I want to talk about Trump deranged syndrome versus the psychology of a Trump supporter, which is the article that you read. And then I've had a personal experience with my so-called support for Trump because I guess the way that I write sometimes defends him. And let me tell you, let me be on the record for this. And you're going to hear this on podcast, you're going to hear this on YouTube. I am not a Trump supporter. I think he's an idiot. I think that pretty much every president for a long time has just been an idiot because they're just puppets up there doing, what their advisors and people that they have hanging around them do. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Now, Trump's just he's a moron and he's freaking boastful and stuff like that, which makes it even 10 times worse. So I can understand part of the derangement syndrome, but I really feel sorry. And sometimes for myself too, that sometimes a lot of times we get into these habits where we're looking for something to post. I'm on Facebook. I mean, that's what I do. I market the podcast on Facebook. I marketed. That's all I marketed on, and so I've got to have my say. So I get either people not to listen or people to listen. And I know there's a lot of people that I just unfollowed that listen to this podcast, and you know what? That's just the way it is. But anyway, I want to read something that came up about a week ago. And it's in response to the Home Depot co-founder Bernie Marcus expressing his support for Donald Trump. And it drove a couple of people crazy. It kind of got me excited because I went off on the Nike thing. So, there's always a give and take with what you'll support and what you won't. I won't buy Nike products, and that wasn't. I got mad because of what Colin Kaepernick conferred to the Betsy Ross flag and stuff like that. I thought it was stupid. But the fact is that I wasn't buying Nike products anyway. Any Nike product that I have in my house right now, except for this one pair of squeaky tennis shoes, has been a gift to me. So I'm aware. I'm just not going to buy it because they got squeaky fucking tennis shoes, and I hate squeaky tennis shoes. And they were bought by Costco.
You give me free clothes. I don't care whose name's on them.
But the latest thing that came out, which is the smoke and mirrors for something, I'm sure. But the co-founder Bernie Marcus supports Donald Trump, and many have taken to social media to call for a boycott of the home improvement store. In a rare twist, the boycott threat had gotten president and some Democrats on the same page with the Georgia Democrat legislator, calling the boycott stupid, because it was stupid. So meanwhile, Marcus has responded to the threats with his own statement, lamenting the current state of political discord in the U.S. and the impact that such boycott would have on the nonpartisan philanthropy work by Home Depot and the people it employs. And whether you support or oppose President Trump, what do you do with these boycott threats? Are they dragging the political discord down even more? And do you support it? So we're going to read Bernie's full response right here. He says, I woke up this morning thinking it was going to be another great day. I've been celebrating with my friends and family and the community since I turned 90. I've told you about the gracious gift of $117 million that was collected and given in honor to 4 charities that mean a lot to me. All that happiness blew up because I said in a newspaper interview that I supported and will continue to support Donald Trump. Boom. That was his statement. So negative stories, vicious threats without cause to boycott the company that enabled my foundation to give billions to support autism, medical research, education, heart, neurological issues like stroke, and to help our veterans, the company that I retired from in 2002 and had not had a business relationship with them in almost 20 years. A company that has employed more than 500,000 people. The people that work there are affiliated with both political parties or no party at all. They are of all religions and all colors and backgrounds. And why would you want people to hurt them? It saddens me that our country has come to this, whereas I, as a private citizen, cannot express my feelings. It angers me and saddens me, but it sure as hell is not going to stop me. And if you thought it would, you've got the wrong guy. In the next 10 years, God willing, I will accomplish more to save this world than my critics will do, even if they had 40 lifetimes. End quote.
Well, it's a valid point, right? Because what he's saying is basically all of you people with your hateful knee-jerk, I'm gonna show you attitudes, aren't looking at the whole picture.
No.
Right.
I agree.
Now, I don't like the fact that he supports Trump, but he's a businessman, so he's going to.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
So are probably 7 out of 10 of them.
And he would have supported Obama too, if Obama was still the president, and he would be doing that to Hillary Clinton. Yeah. He would be doing that to Bill Clinton. He'd be doing that to President Bush, and whatever future president there is, he's going to be doing that too, because that's the way you dance. Okay.
Yeah. Now, I personally, I would have liked it better if he just didn't say he liked Donald Trump.
Well, he was asked in an interview.
Yeah, he didn't have that choice.
He didn't have that choice.
Yeah.
He was set up. I mean, because that's what they do. They set you up now.
Yeah.
They set you up now to fail. And then they want to destroy you. And they don't want you to say, I'm sorry anymore. They want to destroy you. They want to destroy your name. They want to put you in the ground, and they don't want you to speak anymore. And it's really getting to me about this point of that. This is what I want you to hear. And this is what you will always hear. Therefore, you will be what you hear and see. And that's what's going to happen if this rhetoric with going back and not being able to debate. And I've got a little bitch, and you're going to be my counterpoint to this. I had a situation on social media, and I don't apologize for what I've done in the last couple of days as far as my posting. I don't apologize for the tone that I give. I don't apologize for a couple of people that I did not unfriend. I just unfollowed because I can't take it anymore. I've got this little Hulk inside me that wants to come out and play, and I'm a peaceful guy. And if the Hulk comes out to play, it won't be pretty. And I don't want that to happen, because I don't want to. It's not that I don't want to embarrass myself. It's just I don't want to go off in front of people and have them think any worse of me than I think that they already do. Now they were Mr. Bruce, I love you as a friend. You're a good guy, but you're obtuse and you're rude. So what is it? Am I obtuse or rude, or am I a good guy and a cool friend? I mean, what am I? I can't be both.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
Sure you can.
No.
Actually, you are both.
No.
To some people, you're one, and to some people, you're the other. That makes you both. Sorry.
No, but I mean, for the same person to see it that way, either I'm obtuse or rude, or I'm a friend. One of the two. You can't be both and be my friend. I'm sorry, you can't.
Oh, come on. How?
I don't think
you put up with me.
Yeah, but I don't think you're obtuse and rude.
I try to be.
Yeah, okay. you can try, and I wouldn't tell you that.
And sarcastic
and if
too.
I thought you were, I would say it to your face. I wouldn't. My name is out there to be tagged and for the world to see. And so is yours. And I don't go around calling people. I'll call them what you are. You're a progressive liberal. Fine. If you don't like that name, or Democrat or Republican or Libertarian or conservative right-wing freaking kook or Antifa or whatever you are, I'm going to call you what you are. Okay, I'm going to go to your tendencies on why you thought that you issued this opine that you did on Facebook. I'm going to make my point, but I'm trying to be kind about it. But if that was construed as not kind, well, that's not really my problem. But if you got a problem with me being obtuse and rude, God, say it to my face, because I love all my friends. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, even I'm just going to pull away for a while because I have to. Because if I'm here, dude.
Well, I don't do social media because I went past that over 5 years, almost 6 years ago now.
Yeah.
It was during, of course, it's during a presidential campaign,
right.
and you know what it was about, right? Like 6 years ago, we know what it was about, and I mean, seriously, the visceral crap, and it's funny, people posting it not maliciously. They're like, oh, look what I found, it's like everybody should enjoy this, and I see it, it's like, fuck you, you know what? And I'm not unfriending anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not blocking anybody. I'm not doing any of that crap.
Me neither.
Because everybody's entitled to their shit. I just stopped using Facebook.
I just unfollow because now, what happened was I did this before and I purged out and I unfollowed a whole bunch of people. And it was all nice, I had puppies and freaking recipes and cakes and all the good stuff you want to see during the day, because all you want to see is good news, and you're just going like, this is fucking boring. So you're like, yeah, let's go for an adventure.
Well, yeah,
let's click this person.
I'm not going to get into my own psychological diagnostic or self-diagnostic of how I felt about Facebook, but there was definitely more bad things that I got out of Facebook than good things.
Yeah, I'll agree for sure. I just think that, man, I've just, I don't know. Sometimes I want to quit Facebook, but in the same token, it's kind of my journal and it's my soapbox. And I really don't like Twitter because they only,
Well, I don't do Twitter either.
I don't do Twitter. I don't. Yeah, I mean, I do Facebook. I do a little bit of tweeting, but that's all we do. That's all I do.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is too, that when people don't understand that what you're saying in a certain mindset, which is your mindset. But when they read the written word, they're reading it in their mindset.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, and so a lot of times it's like, hey, you know what? You're reading that wrong.
Yeah.
You're putting your own interpretation on that. Don't lay that on me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's this way. I'm watching the same movie you're watching. I'm just on the other side of the screen. Yeah. And I think that's kind of the way.
Same planet, different world.
Same planet. Well, not same planet, different world. Just just the other side of the screen. So the other side of the screen is, if you're looking at the YouTube video, the other side of the screen is you're reading Weathered Souls backwards on the screen. I mean, maybe that's what I'm seeing, or maybe that's what you're seeing. What side of the screen are you on? I don't know. But we're watching the same movie. I believe that we're both on the same freaking bus, guys, and we want the same freaking thing. We just want to freaking live free, be left alone, and have everybody taken care of, especially in the freaking greatest freaking country that has the most wealth in the freaking whole world. I mean, we shouldn't be going through the problems that we're going through.
This is true.
Yeah.
And have you been watching the Apollo stuff?
Yeah, I have.
Right. And the same thing too.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, they're launching Apollo 11, and there's people protesting, saying, that there's hungry kids out here. Spend that money on us.
Right.
And I think about that, and it's like, well, it wasn't about spending the money. It was about the technology. It wasn't about getting somebody on the moon. It was about the technology. Right. It wasn't. So what? We got a man on the moon. Big deal. Waste of money? No, because of all the technology that came out of that.
Right.
And that's another reason why they want to keep these sort of programs going. And, hopefully, because of that increase in technology, it should make more opportunities for more people if they're willing to take them.
You would think so. I mean, that's kind of the way it's supposed to be. And that's how that's how capitalism, not corporatism, the free market works. I mean, it has made more millionaires and wealth out of more people, and it gives you ultimate opportunity to do anything you want. Yeah. I mean, you can find something to sell out there. You can find something to do out there, and you can build on that, and you can build a company on that. Many people you've heard thousands and thousands upon thousands of freaking messages of people that immigrated here back in the early 1900s who rubbed two nickels together and they started great big corporations. So, I mean, it's not
impossible.
Yeah, it's not impossible. And they did that because we have a free market.
Right.
Okay. But we're getting more restricted in that free market, and it's getting more expensive for just a little guy. Let me tell you something. It costs money to put on this show. I mean, I enjoy doing it, but it actually costs money to do on the show. So I know, and it's only just a little bit of money, but it's impactful.
Right.
I mean, this equipment isn't free. It's expensive. It's expensive to run, and it's it's time consuming to do.
Should have done it all off of your iPhone.
Exactly, but you can do it that simply. But the fact of the matter is that they don't make it simple for the little guy. And they really don't make it simple for the corporations as much as you think that they do. Yeah. They're held up against a lot of regulations, and a lot of regulations they put on themselves to decrease competition for their product.
And I've said this before on our talks, and my point of view is, these people that have made enormous wealth off of the benefits of living in this country. Should have no problem putting their share back into it, right? So the little guy. So in other words, okay, don't yell at the rocket. Okay, say the rocket's good because it's going to make technology, but people who benefit from that technology should share that with the rest of the country willingly. And if they don't want to do it willingly, then we should force them to. And if they don't, and if they're going to say that's going to stagnate, I'm not going to invent anything new. If you tax me another 2%, blah blah blah, fuck you, get the hell off my country.
As to what? So I mean, what is your measure of enough?
Well, it's got to be at a certain point. Okay, I mean, if it's a percentage, right? And I have $1 and you have $10, and we say, we're going to do a 1% tax, and I pay a penny, you pay 10.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So let me say, so I heard something interesting today amongst that fact. And that there's a tax bell curve, or they have in finance, they have what they call a tax bell curve. Where a society has a peak point of where taxes actually benefit them and all around, or vice versa, the government all around.
Yeah. And there's little taxes, no good. Perfect taxes, too much taxes, no good.
Right,
yeah.
No good. So there's that bell curve. But the argument is that it's us against them. So the government wants that bell curve to be high enough, and they want to keep increasing that high enough to make the maximum amount of money to run their government, the government to run their government. And then there's me and you that say, no. We want that tax rate to be somewhere where where we give you just enough money to run our government, not their government, our government.
Yeah, right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well,
you know
I do understand that. Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
yeah.
I think that's where we differ with that as far as when the wealthy pay taxes, because as far as I'm concerned, the wealthy people have already paid taxes on their wealth, because the wealth is everything. My 8 guitars that I have up here is wealth. My sound, my sound setup, the podcast, what little studio or this house, this is all wealth. Okay. And they want to tax that wealth again, no matter whether it be a $1 wealth or $5 billion worth of wealth. It doesn't matter. They want to tax that wealth. That's what they're trying to get to. Okay, so then you have to figure out, okay, well, that's going to be a bad idea, because if the wealthy people are just going to leave, and those wealthy people leave with all their investments that happen to go into companies that drive the economy in the United States or the world, whatever the case may be. So then you can, okay, well, we can't do that with the rich people or with the wealthy. And wealthy doesn't mean you're rich, but the wealthy. Then you got the high earners or the rich. And there's a difference between rich and poor. We've had this discussion between rich and poor before. So the rich people just, I'm rich for a week till I get paid again. There's some people that are like that. That's where I'm rich at. The high wage earner. Okay, so the high wage earner here in the Silicon Valley probably makes somewhere around $250,000, $300,000, maybe $350,000 a year. Mostly sales and marketing people and people in the higher ups in the tech industry make that kind of money. That's the high earner here in the Silicon Valley. So you're talking about taxing those people that are making the $250,000, $300,000, $350,000 a year here in Silicon Valley, but you want to. The reason why that they're paying all the tax or supposed to be paying all the tax, if you want to raise those people's taxes, where does that transfer to Podunk, freaking Iowa? Does that same income cap is the same there in Iowa or North Dakota or in Nebraska or someplace?
Well, on a federal level, it's, if you do a percentage, then it's going to be proportional.
But they don't want to do a percentage. They want to do it off of your high income. So what I'm saying is that
percentage of your high income.
$250,000 in Iowa is different than $250,000 here.
Right.
So is the percentage fair? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so, I think it would be, because first of all, there's quite a few less of those people in Idaho, but there still are some. Right,
but you brought this up last week or 2 weeks ago that it costs you what, $63 an hour to be able to house yourself in the Santa Clara Valley. Is that what you said? I think that's what it was 2 weeks ago.
No. It was something like that. Yeah.
$63 an hour to own a home or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a home. It was a 2-bedroom apartment.
But still, that's what I'm saying. So that's where this goes awry.
Right.
So you can't do that.
Well, I've always said your income tax should be based on the money you don't spend.
Yeah.
Which is what they try to do with the deductions and so forth.
Yeah, but you can't do that either.
Sure, you can.
I just think, oh man. And then you get down to the middle class. The us's. I mean, there's different classes of middle class. I hate really calling it middle class, but the people that actually pay the taxes. I mean, we're the actual people that freaking go to work every day. We get the thing to work done. We're paying the taxes for everything. Once you get up and start breathing the air, you're paying taxes throughout the whole day or whatever. So we're just taxed to death. I mean, we're the ones that cover the bulk of the taxes now. And I think something needs to be done there. And I don't remember really where I was going with this too much, but
well, basically, how do you figure out what is fair for tax?
Exactly.
Okay, you can have the point of view where, okay, what do you use?
Okay. Well,
right?
everybody uses
What's
the same thing
what's
here.
protecting your interests? Okay, are you an oil company?
No,
Well, then we have an entire army protecting your interests. You should pay for that.
this is true. This is true. I don't have a problem with that. I
Right?
mean, that's a very cool
Are you a
idea
tech
with
company?
that.
Then we have an entire department, you know, protecting
That's a-
intellectual property.
That's an
Are you know?
that's an interesting concept that you got there.
Yeah.
Man. Maybe you should run for Congress. There.
Are you a freight company and you're running my roads all day?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know? So that's why you have to have all these little individual taxes.
Yeah. I just hate taxes, dude. It's just one of those things that just kills me.
Well, how about 100% tax and then everything is free,
True.
comrade?
Well, we didn't get into everything that we're going to do, but we're going to keep going through an after show, man. And me and Dougie are going to keep speaking on, but we're going to get rid of the YouTube feed and we're going to put this end of this show because we're going to keep going on because I love having the conversation with Dougie about this, and we'll probably say some stuff that we really mean. So,
Hey, you know, it's just points of view.
absolutely.
You know? I'm not saying I'm not dictating anything. I'm just throwing crap out.
That's right, man. Say goodnight, Dougie.
Good night, Dougie.
Good night, guys, man. Weathered Soul Podcast. We're out of here.
Right on.